What's up, Algebra 2? Talking a little bit about solving systems of equations, specifically when it has three variables. So if it has three variables, you need three equations, which is what we're seeing here. Now, it is kind of a long process. You got to be really paying close attention to what you're doing. But you have multiple ideas of what you can do. For example, I don't have to cancel the z's, which is what we talked in class. Honestly, I could cancel x pretty quickly with 2 and negative 2. Okay. Now, once I do that, if I was to cancel through the x's and I'm left with some form of y and z, well, that means the next time I do it, I got to also cancel y and z. So I think I'll just be consistent and show you how we did this in class today. Unfortunately, none of these really start doing the z's. So if you really do want to cancel them, we may want to be real close, real careful. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take that top equation, I'm going to write that top equation again. And what I'm going to do is I see that the bottom one has 2z and the top one has negative 6. So I can actually multiply this equation by 3 and I'll get the cancellation that I want of negative 6 and positive 6. So that gives me negative 6x, negative 3y, positive 6z, and 3 times 16 is 48. So again, the whole point of this is to end up with x, y, and a constant on the back. So 48 minus 26, I think that's 22. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that same thing, except I don't want to combine the same two equations. You want to combine different equations. So I'm going to write that second equation, negative 3x minus 5y minus 4z equals 14. And I think I'm going to use that same third equation. So you can reuse one of the equations, just not the same two. And if I want to get this to be a 4, if there's a negative 4 here, hopefully you're thinking about multiplying by 2. So that gives me negative 4x, negative 2y, positive 4z, and 32. And so I'm going to go to add these together, negative 7x, negative 7y, and 46. So now I have two equations with two variables. And what I can do is I can start trying to put the two together that I have over here. So the deal is that I'm never going to get 7 and 4 to cancel. I'm never going to get the y's to cancel for the same reason. So what I need to do is I probably need to multiply both these equations. I'm going to multiply them both by like 7 and 4, but I want one to be a positive, one to be a negative. So let's multiply the first one by positive 7. It gives you negative 28 for both of them. And 7 times 22, 154. Okay? So let's multiply this other one by negative 4. And that's going to flip it to be positive 28. Positive 28, that's y. And then negative 4 times 46, I think that's negative 180. Now, this one's similar to the one we talked about in class today because these cancel and these cancel. And over here, they don't exactly cancel. So what that means is that this problem has no solution. No solution because you run out of variables that cancel out completely, and there's no real way to solve this because they're all somehow parallel. So I wanted to take time to copy down number 3 on our worksheet. And so we did one that's no solution. I think this one actually comes out to be an answer. So let's see if I can support you as we walk through this one. So want to start developing a vision for what you can cancel immediately. And today I'm being consistent, just like going for the z's every time. You don't have to, but I think you guys are going to track more with what we're doing, especially when you're solving x plus y as a number, because that's something you're familiar with from Algebra 1. But it really doesn't matter. So I am going to do it Again, thinking about that second and third equation because they both have like -3 and +3. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to add the 2 in the middle. I'm going to add those 2 in the middle together, and that's going to give me -9, +1y. These are canceling, and then if I add those together, you get exactly 10. Okay? Now, I want to be careful just writing over all this because the truth is I need to see the signs. So I did just add the second and third one together, but I need to incorporate the top one with either the middle one or the last one. So I think I'm going to try to combine these two because if this is a +3, if I had like a -3 there, those would cancel. But hopefully you know you can't just like put that there. You're going to have to multiply to create what you want. And so if that's a -1, I need to multiply that by 3. So if I start multiplying this by 3, 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. -1 times 3 is -3. And then 3 times 3 is 9. Now I am trying to cancel with the third equation. So a lot of this feels long, but some of it is just organizing it, writing it, where they're close to each other. That way you can add stuff together. So let's start eliminating, and this gives you nothing. Ooh, and this is good. 6 minus 6 gives you nothing as well. So that means that we're going to eliminate all the way down to y, which means we're going to be able to solve for y, and it's going to save us some time with this other system, not having to do a full system solve. So 3 minus 5 is -2. And 9 plus -11 is -2, so these are dividing to be 1. Well, that's good, because now I can sub in a 1 for y here. Instead of plus y, I put plus 1. And for you guys, this ain't nothing. Solving for x here is going to give you -1. So I got x is -1, I got y is +1. I need to plug this in to figure out what z is, and I'm going to go for the easiest one. And the top one has y and z instead of like 6x and 3y. I'm going for that top one because it's just a little less work. 2x plus y minus z equals 3. So remember, we had x was -1, that multiplies to be -2. Y was 1, so we're adding 1 there. And so we need to solve to see what z is going to be. So let's get some room here. -2, add 1. You just put these together immediately to get -1. We want to solve for z, so let's move everything on the left side over to the right side. That gives you -z equals 4. And let's move the negative to the other side using either division or multiplication to figure out that z is -4. So our answer is -1 for x, +1 for y, and -4 for z. Why don't you try that last one for homework, and we'll check your work tomorrow. Email me if you have any questions. See you.